everyone. I am going to discuss about Unit 3rd, Indian Religion, Philosophy and Practices. In this unit, I will discuss about the topics Pre-Vedic and Vedic religion, Buddhism, Jainism, sixth system, Indian philosophy, Shankaracharya, various philosophical doctrines, other heterodox sects, Bhakti Movement, Sufi movement, socio-religious reform movement of 19th century, modern religious practices. Religion. Religion has been an essential element of human life since the earliest of time, when the process of evolution of mankind commenced around 2 million years ago. Humans started encountering various complex terrestrial and extraterrestrial developments. Unable to comprehend the actual causes behind these phenomena, man started treating them divine, and this led to the origin of religious and philosophical ideas. Graves provide the earliest evidence about religious life of human beings. Pre-Vedic religion. Religious life was well developed in India during the days of Harappan civilization. The archaeological evidences provide exhaustive knowledge about religious beliefs and practices of this great civilization. The Vedas provide detailed information about religious ideas, beliefs, and practices of Vedic Aryans. Mother Goddess. Mother Goddess was the chief deity of Harappan people as revealed by discovery of large number of female figurines, small images from Harappan settlements. Pashupati Shiva, a male deity termed as Pashupati Shiva, was also worshipped by the people of Harappan civilization. This was revealed by the famous Pashupati Mahadev still found at Mohenjo-daro. Animal worship was practiced. Bull, wa- bull was held sacred by people of Harappan civilization. People tree depicted on some Harappan seals indicate that tree worship was also practiced. The great bath found at Mohenjo-daro indicates that water worship was also common. These are the figures of great bath of Mohenjo-daro and the figure of Pashupati seal. Vedic religion was primarily categorized by personification of the forces of nature. It followed natural, naturalistic, naturalistic polytheism. The Vedic gods were divided into three categories: terrestrial deities, Agni, Som, Prithvi; atmospheric deities, Indra, Rudra, Marut, Prajanya, Parjanya, Vayu; celestial, celestial deities, Surya, Varun, Usha, Vishnu, Ashwins, Mitra, Savitra, Dayush, Kushan. During the last phase of later Vedic age, a new dimension became visible in religious life, which has been described in Upanishads. Buddhism. It is one of the major religions of the world that originated from the Indian subcontinent and has now spread to large parts of Southeast Asia. The origin of Buddhism is attached to the story of Siddhartha, who came to be known as Buddha. The traditions, beliefs, and practices in Buddhism are attributed to Buddha. It is the world's fourth largest religion after Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. At the age of 35, on the same day of his birth, he attained enlightenment, nirvana, under that evil tree and became Buddha, the enlightened one. After attaining nirvana in Bodh Gaya, he gave his first sermon to his five companions at the Deer Park in Sarnath near Varanasi. This event was called Dharma Chakra Paravartan, turning the wheel of law. First five disciples or companions of Buddha at Sarnath. Kaudinya, Bhadrika, Vaspa, Mahanaman, Aswadi. The three jewels Triratna embraced under Buddhism are Buddha, the enlightened one, Dhamma, teachings of Buddha, doctrine, Sangha, the monastic order. Out of the three jewels or Triratnas, the concept of Sangha, the order was initiated by Buddha at the time of giving first sermon at Sarnath. His five companions, along with Buddha, became a Sangha, a group. Buddha attained Mahaparinirvan at Kushinagar, Malla Mahajanapad, in Uttar Pradesh at the age of 80 in probably 483 BC. Four noble truths they are: the truth of suffering, book, the truth of the origin of suffering, Samudya, the truth of the cessation of suffering, Nirodha, the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, Marga, and novel eightfold paths they include: first, kind, fruitful, and right speech; second, honest, peaceful, and right action; third, to find the right livelihood which does not harm any being; fourth, right effort and cultivating self-control; five, right mindfulness; six, right meditation and concentrating on the meaning of life; seven, the worth of the sincere and intelligent man is through right thoughts; eight, avoid superstition and cultivate right understanding. After the death of Buddha, a need to compile his teachings, and hence four Buddhist councils were held in a span of next 500 years to collate this material into Pitakas. The result was the writing of three major Pitakas, Vinaya, Sutta, and Abhidhamma, that when combined were called Tripitaka. Tripitaka or Trisiksha of Buddhism, morality sila, variously translated as discipline, ethics, virtue, or morality. Sila encompasses three aspects of the Eightfold Path: right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Living ethically and purely is both the ground of the Buddhist path and its result, meditation, samadhi. Translated as concentration, calm, abiding, or mindfulness, samadhi is the foundation of Buddhist meditation. By settling and calming the mind through dedicated meditation practice, we achieve peace and are no longer controlled by our delusions and conflicting emotions. Classes, wisdom from present, translated as wisdom, insight, and discriminating mind. Present is Prajna is Buddhism unique, defining principle and the key to penetrate the true nature of defining principle and the key to enlightenment. Using the powerful concentrated mind of Samadhi, we penetrate the true nature of reality and free ourselves from the fundamental ignorance that causes suffering. This is the essential technique of Buddhist meditation. Jainism. The word Jain is derived from Jaina or Jaina, which means the conqueror. The belief that their religion is comprised of people who have managed to control and conquer their desires. Jainism does not have a single founder. Instead, believes that the truth comes to the world in difficult and different times by a teacher who shows the way or a Tirthankar. There were 23 Tirthankaras or great learned men in Jain religion before Mahavira. It is commonly mistaken that Mahavir was the founder of Jainism. Instead, he was the last and 24th Tirthankar. Jainism, unlike Buddhism, it believes in the existence of soul, Atma. Soul is the core and the fundamental focus of the Zen philosophy. It is the soul that experiences existence and gains knowledge, not mind nor body, as both are believed to be a heap of matter. The 24 Tirthankar under Jainism are Rishabhnath or Adinath, Ajita, Sambhav, Abhinandan, Sumat, Sumat, Padmaprabha, Suparshva, Chandraprabha, Suvid, Sheetal, Shreyansnath, Vashupujya, Vimal, Vimla, Ananta, Dharma, Shanti, Kunthu, Hara, Malli, Muni, Suvarata, Nam, Name, Parshvanath, and Mahavira. Anekantavada is the fundamental doctrine of Jainism, emphasizes that the ultimate truth and reality is complex and has multiple aspects. Hence, there exists non-absolutism, and that means no single specific statement can describe the nature of existence and the absolute truth. They believe that through three fold path of right belief, Samyak Darshan, right knowledge, Samyak Jnana, and right conduct, Samyak Charitra, one can get rid of the bad karma and also pull themselves out of the cycle of rebirth and achieve salvation. These three levels or gems of Jainism are called Ratnatraya. Jains need to follow these five constraints or rules in life. First, ahimsa, non-violence. Second, satya, truthfulness. Third, asteya, not stealing. Fourth, aparigraha, non-acquisition, and fifth, brahmacharya, just living. Three levels of Jainism. First, right knowledge, understanding of two religious principles. Second, right faith, belief in Jina. Third, right conduct or action, observance of five rules. Jainism has two major ancient sub-traditions, Digambaras. Subsects include Mula Singh, original community, and Therapanthi, Tara, Taranpanthi, and Ishpanthi. These three are modern communities. Second, Shwetambaras. Subsects include Vastankwasi and Murti Pujaka. Digambara Therapanthis worship the idol with Ast- Astadravya, just like the Vishpanthis, but replace flowers and fruits with dry substitutes. The Vishpanthis worship the Shankars as well as Yaksh and Yakshini like Bhaira and Kshatrapal. Similarities between Buddhism and Jainism. Both Buddhism and Jainism emerged as protest movements against complex, costly, and violent rituals and ceremonies of Brahmanical religion. Both the religions rejected Varna order of Brahmanical religion in which Brahmanas enjoyed highest social status. They gave highest status to Kshatriyas in one order. Both opposed caste system. Both accepted doctrines of karma and rebirth. In both cases, the founders belonged to Kshatriya world. Both Mahavira and Buddha used language of the common people to preach their religions. Both believed in making conscious efforts to attain salvation. Salvation was known as Nirvana in both cases. The difference between Jainism and Buddhism. First, concept of salvation. In Jainism, salvation was referred as Nirvana. It was understood as liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Nirvana could be attained by an individual only after death. In Buddhism, salvation, also known as Nirvana, was understood as liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Nirvana could be attained by an individual within one's lifetime, such a person attained Nirvana on death. Second, method of attaining salvation. In Jainism, extreme acts involving self-mortification. In Buddhism, moderate and middle path. Third, way to attain salvation. In Jainism, karma mark, path of action. In Jainism, Janan mark, path of knowledge. Fourth, attitude toward followers. In Buddhism, it relied mainly on Sangha and its monks. In Jainism, gave prominence to lay followers. That is why Jainism could survive much longer than Buddhism. Fifth, asceticism. In Jainism, believed in rigorous asceticism. In Buddhism, discarded rigorous asceticism. Self-mortification. In Jainism, It was considered necessary to attain salvation in Buddhism. It was condemned by Buddha. Concept of God in Jainism, aesthetic in nature, Mahavir rejected existence of God. Later, Jains started accepting existence of God, but God was considered lower than Jina. In Buddhism, agnostic in nature, Buddha did not say anything about existence or non-existence of God. Attitude toward non-violence. In Jainism, extreme form of non-violence was practiced. In Buddhism, moderate form of non-violence was practiced. Language used. In Jainism, earth must be earth sacred. In Buddhism, Kali. Social ways. In Jainism, social ways was narrow as it could be followed mainly by merchants and traders. In Buddhism, social base was wide as every section of population could become a part of it. Ideal of idea of soul. In Jainism, everything has a soul. Mahavir believed that even non-living things had souls. In Buddhism, Buddha rejected the idea of soul. According to Buddhism, soul does not exist. Spread in Jainism confined to India. In Buddhism, spread rapidly to foreign lands but died in India. Philosophy. Orthodox school. This school believed that Vedas were the supreme revealed scriptures that hold the secrets to salvation. They did not question the authenticity of the Vedas. They had six sub-schools that were called the Saddha Darshan, Samkhya Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. Heterodox school. They do not believe in the originality of the Vedas and question the existence of God. They are divided into three major sub-schools: Buddhism, Jainism, Lokay, Lokayat, Astika. The system of thought which admit the validity of the Vedas are called Astika and Nastika. The system of thought which repudiate the validity of the Vedas are called Nastika. Sixth system Indian philosophy. Samkhya school of philosophy. This is the oldest school of philosophy and was founded by Kapil Muni, who is supposed to have written the Samkhya Sutra. The word Samkhya or Sankhya literally means count. Shasti Tantra, written by Kapil Muni, is the principal text of this school. Sankhya philosophy emphasizes that the world was not created by some divine agency. Nature or Prakriti created this world. This school believed in dualism or Dvaitavad, that is, the soul and the matter are separate entities. This school has been famous for their scientific system of inquiry. The final philosophy argued that Prakriti and Purus are the basis of reality and they are absolute and independent. Prakriti consists of three major attributes: thought, movement, and transformation. Vaisheshika School of Philosophy. Uluka Kanad was its founder. He was also known as Kashyap and Kanvuk. Kanan Sutras is the principal text of this school. It believes that universe is made up of five fundamental atomic elements, and each of these elements has special characteristics. Visheshta, that is why this school is known as Vaisheshika. These five fundamental atomic elements are elements fire, air, water, earth, and ether, sky. It also recognizes the existence of four fundamental non-atomic elements. These are time, space, soul, mind, and school of philosophy. As the name of the school suggests, they believe in the technique of logical thinking to achieve salvation. This is also known as the school of logic and analysis. Akshapad Gautam was the founder of this school. Nyaya Sutras, composed by Gautam, is the principal text of this school. It recognizes four fundamental sources of knowledge. These are pratyaksh, perception, anuman, inference, upaman, comparison, and sabd, verbal testimony. The school argues that by using logical tools like inference, hearing, and analogy, a human being could verify the truth of a proposition or a statement. Clear thinking and logical arguments are considered essential to attain salvation. Yoga School of Philosophy. Patanjali was the founder of this school. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is the principal text of this school. Practice of control over bodily organs, pleasure, and senses is central to the philosophy of this system. The Yoga school literally means the union of two major entities. They argue that human beings can achieve salvation by combining meditation and physical training. Asana of yogic techniques. Womb is considered as a sacred symbol. Yog, yam, forbearance, control over mind, body, and speech. Niyam, observances, positive commands. Asana, physical fitness, comfort, and posture. Pranayam, breath control or regulation. Pratyahar, withdrawing the cognitive senses from their subjects. Dharana, continuous contemplation, fixing of the mind on something external or internal. Dhyan, absorption, fixing of the mind on the object thought, making the mind one with it. Samadhi, state of oneness, becoming the object of thought itself. Mimamsa School of Philosophy. Maharishi Jaimini was the founder of this school. Jaimini Sutras, also known as Upadesh Sutras, is the principal text of this school. The word Mimamsa literally means the art of reasoning, interpretation, and application. This school focuses and the analysis of the texts of Samhita and Brahmana that are portions of the Vedas attaining salvation and reaching heaven is the main object of the philosophy of this school. Vedanta School of Philosophy. Vadarayan was the founder of this school. Vadarayan's Brahma Sutra is the principal text of this school. Vedanta is made of two words, Ved and that is the end of the Vedas. This school upholds the philosophies of life as elaborated in the Upanishads. It is also known as Uttar Mimamsa or Janan Mimamsa. But this philosophy evolved in 9th century AD through the philosophical intervention of Shankaracharya, who wrote commentaries on the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. His changes led to the development of Advaita Vedanta. Ramanujan was another philosopher of this school. Shankaracharya. The word Shankaracharya is composed of two parts, Shankar and Acharya. Acharya is a Sanskrit word meaning teacher. So, Shankaracharya means teacher of the way of Shankar. Shankaracharya's philosophy is called Advaita monism. According to this philosophy, Brahma is the reality. Only Brahma exists. It can be summed up in his own words. Brahma Sat Jagat Mithya. Shankar considered Brahma to be without any attributes, that is Nirgun. Shankar wrote commentaries on 11 main Upanishads. Shankar started Panchayatan system in which five deities are worshipped together. These deities are Shiva, Parvati, Ganesh, Vishnu, and Surya. This helps in integration of different religious groups of India. Because of this, he is referred as Mata. Sthapanacharya. Shankar established four monasteries in different concerns corners of India. These were Kalika Peeth at Dwarka in West, Jyotirmatha at Badrinath in North, Govardhan Peeth at Jagannath Puri in East, Sarda Peeth at Sringeri, Chikamagaluru, Karnataka in South. Some a comparison of the salient features of three schools of Vedanta criteria, basic reference for establishing the tenet Advaita, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, Vishisht Advaita, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, in Dvaita, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra. Concept of Ishvara in Advaita 1 attribute less Nirgun Brahman. In Vishisht Advaita, one personal God, Sagun Brahman, Vishnu or Narayan, independent, ultimate, in Dvaita, one personal God, Shagun Brahman, Vishnu or Hari, independent, ultimate. Concept of universe, Jagat, in Advait, not real, mere illusory experience made of Prakriti and Gunas. In Vishisht Advait, real made of Prakriti and Gunas. In Dvait, real made of Prakriti and Gunas. Jeev Jagat Ishwar relation. In Advait, not all are one and the same Brahman. In Vishisht Advait, all are part and parcel of Ishwar. Jeev and Jagat depend on Ishwar. Dvait, all are uniquely different. Jeev and Jagat depend on Ishwar. Valid means of knowledge, pramanas, in Advait, perception, inference, comparison, verbal testimony, presumption, non-apprehension. In Visit Advait, perception, inference, verbal testimony. In Dvait, perception, inference, verbal testimony. Liberation. In Advait, experience oneness with Brahman. In Vishishtadvait, attaining the fruit of the Lord. In Dvait, knowledge of the greatness of Ishwar. Path to liberation. In Advait, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga as a prerequisite. In Vishisht Advait, Bhakti and Prapatti, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga as prerequisite. In Dvait, Bhakti Yoga, grace of Ishwar. Schools of Vedanta. School and its description. Advait Monism. Description: God is everything and everyone. God is formless, accused of being crypto-Buddhist, Visist. God is everything and everywhere, but also resides in the image inside the temple, through whom the devotee can realize their true nature. Dwayat dual description: God is distinct from everything and everyone. Bhed Abhed description: God and the world are sometimes same and sometimes distinct, depending on various parameters. The founder, Doctrine, Shankaracharya, Advaitwad, Monism, Ramanujacharya, Vishisht Advaitwad, Qualified Monism, Madhvacharya, Dvaitwad, Vallabhacharya, Shuddh Advaitwad, Pure Monism, Nimbaracharya, Vishisht Advaitwad, Bhaskaracharya, भेद भेदावाद चैतन्य अचिंत्य भेद भेदावाद विजनन विशुद्धि अवि अविभागवत गीता श्रीपति वीर शिवा विशिष्ट अद्वैतवाद श्रीकंठ शैव विशिष्ट अद्वैतवाद भाषव शक्ति विशिष्ट अद्वैतवाद उच्छेदवद यानी हीलेटेनिज्म. It was founded by Ajit Kesakambalian. He was a contemporary of Mahatma Buddha. His sects believed in materialistic philosophy. He was the opinion that he was of the opinion that everything ends with death. He did not believe in idea of sin. He said that there was no sin and a person could do anything. He asked his followers to enjoy and pleasure of this world. Saravak or Lokayat school emerged out of it. Niyatiwad or Ajivikas. It was established by Nand Vatsha. Makhilapur Gosala popularized it. Its philosophy was based on Niyat, destiny. It rejects the theory of karma, material, materialism, Sarvakaj, Lokayat. It was also known as Brahaspatya. Its followers were known as Sarvakaj or Lokayataj. Brahaspatya Sutras is the primary literature of Sarvakaj. Live well as long as you live. Live well even you even by borrowing because once cremated there is no return. This was the fundamental belief of the sect. The monks of this sect were also known as Gnostic ceremony. Akriyavad, antinomianism, antinomianism, Puran Kashyap. Purana Kashyap was its founder. It believed that soul was different from body. The soul remains unaffected by anything that happens to the body. It believed in the doctrine of non-action. It emphasized that actions do not result in either merit or demerit. Advaitwada, Asaswatwad, Pakudu Katyayan was the founder of this sect. According to its philosophy, seven elements Nikayas constitute this universe. These are light, sorrow, happiness, earth, water, air, life. These elements are fundamental and they could neither be created nor destroyed. Anishtitwad. Sanjay Gupta was the founder of this sect. The theory of uncertainty was put forward by it. The doctrine of non-denial and non-approval of existence of anything is associated with it. Bhakti Movement. The Bhakti Movement originated in the southern parts of India, especially Tamil Nadu between 6th and 10th century AD. It slowly percolated to the northern belt by the end of 15th century. Bhakti means a way of connecting to God. Bhakti saints like Kabir, Guru Nanak and Ravidas targeted socio-religious evils prevailing in India during that time. The Bhakti movement was simple, liberal, and progressive in nature. The idea of peaceful coexistence was propagated by Bhakt saints. They believed in oneness of God. They adopted positive elements from both Hinduism and Islam. Main features of the Bhakti movement: intense love and devotion of as the means of salvation, unity of God, universalism, and repeating the one true name again and again, rejection of rituals and ceremonies, no caste discrimination, and keeping an open mind on religious and gender issues. They allowed both men and women to seek salvation. They even cooked their meals together from the common kitchen. They condemned women infanticide and sati practice, using local and regional languages to spread their messages. They stretched on the idea of a personal God, need of a true guru, teacher to realize God. They propagated equality and spirit of brotherhood like the Sufis. They despised priests who they thought were middlemen and instead focused on establishing a personal connection with God. The two schools of Bhakti, Shagun school, Nirguna school. The Bhakti saints were divided into two schools depending on the way they imagined God. One school of thought imagined God as formless with no attributes or quality. This school of thought is the Nirgun school. They are more focused on acquiring knowledge. They rejected the scriptures and condemned every form of idol worship. The prominent figures of this school of thought were Kabir, Guru Nanak, and Sadhu Dayal. On the other hand, the Sagun school thought of God as, as having a definite form, quality, and positive attributes, and the God manifests himself in incarnation such as Ram and Krishna. His spirit is to be found in the idols and images worshipped at home and in temples. The Sagun school emphasizes on love and devotion. They accept the spiritual authority of the Vedas and the need of a woman guru as mediator between God and his devotee. Ramanuj, Ramanand, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu belong to this school of thought. Prominent Bhakti saints: name, year and place and details. Ramanand, 1300 to 1380 AD, Uttar Pradesh. He was a Vaishnav saint and considered to be the founder of Ramanand Sampradaya, which is the largest ascetic community in India. He was a devotee of Lord Ram. He made an attempt towards a synthesis between Advaita Vedanta and Vaishnava Bhakti. Kabir, 1414 AD to 1510 AD, Uttar Pradesh. He believed in Vaishnavism and had a strong bent to monist Advaita philosophy, signifying presence of God inside every person and everything. He was the disciple of Ramanand, which followers are known as Kavirpanthis. Ravidas or Vedas. 1398 to 1540 AD. He was the founder of Vedas Conch. He lived in Banaras. Over 30 hymns composed by him were collected in Guru Granth Sahib of the six. Prince Salih of Chittor was one of his disciples. Guru Nanak, 1469 to 1539 AD, Punjab. He is said to have been inspired by Kabir and belonged to Nehru school. He was the first among the 10 Sikh gurus and is founder of Sufism. Ramanuj, 1017 to 1137 AD, Tamil Nadu. He was a major exponent of Sri Vaishnavism tradition and the chief opponent of the Vishishtadvaita sub-school of Vedanta philosophy. Sri Rangam Ranganath temple in Tamil Nadu is associated with his tradition. Madhavacharya, Kannada saint, 1238 to 1317 AD, Karnataka. He was the chief proponent of the Dualism school of Vedanta philosophy. He named his philosophy as Tattvad. He was a critic of Adi Shankar's Advaita Vedanta and Ramanuja's Vishisht Advaita Vedanta. Sufi movement origin. Sufism is the mystical arm of Islam and is better known as the Tasawwuf. It stresses on self-realization, tolerance, righteousness, and universal love for all. The word finds its roots in Arabic word for wool, soft, indicative of the garments of raw wool worn by the ascetic and even the prophets. The word Sufism is sometimes also traced to the word Safa, which in Arabic means purity. Sufis emphasize divine unity by arousing spiritual facilities. The Sufis try to purify their inner self by rigid introspection and mental struggle so as to remove even the smallest sign of selfishness and attain ikhlas, absolute purity of intention and act. Mystics realized that beyond the knowledge of outward sciences, intuitive knowledge was required in order to receive that illumination to which reason has no access. Sufism strictly follow the concept of pir murshidai, similar to Guru Shishya tradition. The ultimate goal of Sufism and union with God. According to Sufism, love of God meant love towards humanity, and they believe service to humanity equals service of God. Sufism inculcated a spirit of tolerance among its followers. The essential characteristics of Sufism are Fana, spiritual knowledge of duty with Allah, Insan economy, perfect human with all good virtues, Zikr Tawbah, remembrance of God all the time, Zikr, Wahadat ul Wajud, one God for entire universe, unity of God and being, Shama, spiritual dance and music to promote their concepts. They believed in the equality of all human beings and universal brotherhood of man. Most of the Sufis use the vocabulary of love and intimate affection while describing their experience with God. It was a badge of honor for the Sufi to be known as the lover of God or Sufi masters. The Sufis came to be organized into orders or silsilas. Aine-e-Akbari, written by Abul Fazl, mentions a dozen silsilas. Prominent silsilas or Sufi orders were Chisti, Suhrawardi, Firdausi, Qadriya, Qadri, Naqshbandi, etc. Brahmo Samaj. It was one of the earliest socio-religious reform movements in India in the 19th century. It was started by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. This movement laid the foundations for emergence of modern India. It inspired generations of Indians to fight for revitalization of Indian culture and liberation of India from British colonial rule. Brahmo Samajists have no faith in any scripture as an authority. Brahmo Samajists have no faith in avatars. Brahmo Samajists denounce polytheism and idol worship. Arya Samaj. Swami Dayanand Saraswati was the founder of it in 1875. Arya Samaj opposed socio-religious evils like untouchability, child marriage, caste discrimination, idolatry, polytheism, belief in charms, magic, and animal sacrifices. Between 1869 and 1873, Dayanand began his efforts to reform Orthodox Hinduism in India. He established Gurukul Vedic schools which emphasized Vedic values, culture, Satya, virtue, and Sanatan Dharma, the essence of living. The schools gave separate educations to boys and girls based on ancient Vedic principles. Ram Krishna Mission. Ram Krishna Mission was officially established in 1896 by Swami Vivekananda. Its headquarters was located at Velur near Calcutta. According to Ram Krishna, it was service to man, not mercy that should be regarded as God. The organization mainly propagates the philosophy of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, and for yogic idols, Janan Bhakti Karm and Raj Yoga. The mission's activities cover the areas such as education, healthcare, cultural activities, rural uplift, tribal welfare, and youth movement, etc. Aligarh movement. It was started by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in 1864. This movement was guided by liberal interpretation of Quran. It propagated Western scientific education among Muslim masses. Deobandi movement. It was started by Rashid Ahmed Gang, Gang, Gangohi and Muhammad Qasim Nanotawi in 1867. It made educational efforts to uplift Muslims. It was an anti-British movement. Arya Mahila Samaj. It was founded by Ramabai. Its aim was to create a support network for newly educated women. Bharat Stri Mahamandal. It was founded at Allahabad in 1910. It was the first common association dedicated to the cause of Indian women. Sarla Devi Chaudharani participated actively in Swadeshi movement. She founded Lakshmir Bhandar in 1904, propagated and owned woven clothes. Hinduism. Hinduism is one of the biggest religions in this country, but has a variety of cults and sects within its purview. Hinduism is a word that is drawn from Hindu, which was meant as a term to connote people who lived in the geographical area around the river Indus. At the most basic level, Hinduism borrows its basic principles from pre-Vedic and Vedic religious philosophies. Ved, Upanishad, Puranas, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and Mahabharata are the texts of Hinduism. Islam originated in the Arabian Peninsula in the 7th century AD and spread over the world through a large empire. The basic tenets of Islam are that there is only one Allah, manifestation of God, who sent his messengers to help the people on earth, and Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet. Quran is the holy text in Islam. According to Prophet, one has to give a portion of their earnings to the needy and the poor, and is called zakat or charity. Christianity, the largest religion of the world, Christianity has a lot of followers in India. It was founded by Jesus Christ in Jerusalem, and after his crucifixion and resurrection, after 3 days, it started to get more and more followers. The basis of the Roman Catholic Christianity became Vatican City. The basic philosophy of Christianity is the existence of one God who created the universe. The sacred text of the Christians is Bible. Sikhism. The history of Sikhism commences with the lifetimes and teachings of Guru Nanak 1469 to 1539. Guru Nanak did not merely denounce or condemn the existing social order, but he gave an alternative to it. For him, the supreme purpose of human existence was salvation, which can be attained by getting relief from the endless cycles of birth and rebirth. Guru Granth Sahib is the holy text in the Sikhism which contains the Bani of the Sikh saints. Zoroastrianism. This religion has its origin in Persia by the prophet Zarathustra around 7th century BC. They are a monotheistic religion who believe in one eternal God whose name is Ahura Mazda, who is the epitome of just behavior and goddess. Their sacred text called Chant Avesta is written in Old Avestan and consists of 17 sacred songs, gathas, and the Athna Vairyu sacred chant, which was supposedly written by Zarathustra himself. The translation of the texts and compiled glossaries are called Jain Judaism. Judaism. It is one of the oldest religions and it has been persecuted the most. The followers of Judaism are called Jews, and several empires had targeted them. Jews believe in Yahweh are the one true God who was instituted by Abraham. Their religious book is called the Torah, which is also the first five books of the larger text Tanakh. Abraham was the ancestor of all Jews and propounded that those who followed the instruction of God would be blessed. Thank you.